Okay, hello, is there anybody out there? Hi George, how you doing? So you're seeing me on YouTube. So I'm just doing a test. So I'm just running this for a bit on YouTube and also on Twitch. So I've never done this before. I'm there. All right, that looks good. And no viewers yet. Yes, I'm good. So I'm going to start streaming for a bit on Twitch to see what it's like. You know, I got it, set up on the weekend. Ah, right, I see. Yeah. So the same here. Mine's T Hutch, Thutch UK. So that's an interesting one. So this is just like a bit of a test, really. So there's going to be lots of cool things actually on this. So I don't know if you've seen any sort of my YouTube stuff or anything like that. But really, it's well, there's a couple of things with the Twitch thing I've got organised. So the first thing is continuing with what I do on the YouTube channel, which is giving everybody the insights into my creative process. So watching me in the studio at the coal face, so to speak. But the other part of it lately is, and what I'll do is I'll do like little experiments. So one of the experiments I'm carrying forward was the idea of live looping, or shred looping, as I might call it. So that was like one of the things, and I've just been kind of building a template around that, which people have been watching me do, and of course you get to see it. So here we go, get to see this, and this is what I have really. So once you fold that away, it's not too complicated. But so I've got a drum machine. I'm using XO. Hi there, Sean, and you're on. Sean, you are my first ever, and at the minute only, Twitch view. Oh, Troll's it. Hello, Troll. You're the second. So Sean's first. Troll, you're the second. So this is good. I hope it's a good move coming on here. I mean, I'm not fully sure why. Yeah, it's Ableton. It's Ableton. So I'll just take you through it. So for the guitars, this is what I've got. Okay. So I made because I'm lazy and I can't be asked to pick a bass up, right? So I just made my guitar into a bass, which sounds like this. Which isn't like the best bass in the world, but it's a bass and it kind of does do the job. And then what have I got is I've got the guitar bass. Now this is where things start getting interesting. So that's pretty cool, isn't it? Pretty mean. So that's the guitar bass thing. What else have I got? And then we're just going the usual stuff. Dream. When you're having a dream. Oh, there's Thomas, look. So yes, Thomas, I just thought I'd come in and do a quick test, see how it's all working. So I've actually got YouTube running at the same time as Twitch, but for everybody who's watching on YouTube, bingo bango. First Twitch. Yes, it is my first. It's the first one. This is the first one. This is the test one. Feels a bit weird, kind of not doing. Well, I am doing YouTube. But it feels a bit weird just kind of coming onto Twitch. But you know, I'll get used to it. Because you know, YouTube's been a really good thing. I managed to build like a little business around it, a little coaching business. Anyway, yes. So Dream, and all of these guitar sounds are Polychrome. There it is, Polychrome. And Kiesel. And me. What else do we have? Order. Oh, this is just the preset I found actually, which I thought sounded good. It sounded like a new order thing. Hi Bart. So that's pretty cool. We've just got a general clean thing. Yeah, so at the minute this isn't, I mean, it hasn't been a priority for me to like monetize the YouTube channel as a direct thing, because when I set it up, what it was to do with was to build a coaching business from it. So the good thing about, you know, the YouTube thing, the way it kind of works for me is that people come on, they get to know me, they get to see my process of making music, and then if they're interested in joining one of my coaching groups, then they can do, and basically I will coach you on how to make absolutely tons of music from start to finish, and I'll do the walk with you, you know, as you go through a creative process. And then part of that is the foundations of that coaching is I show you how to use this thing called the music making machine. And that kind of underpins the whole process that I go through. But you know, as people who haven't seen the YouTube streams, you'll see the machine, you'll see how I work through it, and you'll get to see some of the processes that I have. Okay. Hi, don't call me. Excellent. So the Twitch stream, I'm assuming that in terms of monetizing, that'll be something that'll happen. I've got to, you know, I've just started, so I don't know, I've got to put in so many hours or what have you. So we'll see what happens. But it'd be nice, and people can like donate money, and that'd be cool. So that was the clean sound, and then I just have a kind of dirty, kind of clean thing. So that's quite nice. Low gain, because yeah, you got to have a low gain, haven't you, before you get to the high gain. There's got to be something in between. So that's that. What else have we got? Heavy. But right, I changed it. This is more like there's a couple of sounds on here that I have for playing almost synth type like melodies, like what I would do on a synth I would do on these kind of guitar sounds. So it's just got a It's just got it's all like polychrome. I think that's a preset called Brutal, but then what I've got is I've got like a pitch shifter just subtly putting an octave higher in it. And then I've got my usual shred sound again, polychrome. This is the Alice preset, Alive preset. It's been a long day. Yeah, so that's my main kind of one. And then this one's very good. So this is like a synth thing. This is a synth going through an amp played by a guitar. So loads of fun with that. In fact, we'll probably do something with that, to be honest. Let's have a look. Let's get this down to there. And there we go. So I thought doing... Oh, I've got some tea left. I thought doing stuff like that would be good. So let's have a look back at the chat. All right, great. There's some my emojis there with the twirl. All right, we've got some questions. How many recordable channels does Ableton have? Loads. Just as many as you need till your computer flakes out. This one is Kebab Shop Paradise. Yep, totally agree with that. Hi there, Joey. Hi, Dennis. Oh, thank you, thank you, Sean. Awesome, brilliant. Oh, there we go, Bart. All of a sudden, I'm at least 15 years younger and thinking about driving my first car for the very first time. The power of music. Thanks, Glenx Moto. I think that's how you say it. I've got to say, guys, right, I'm really bad at names, and it's because I do have actually dyslexia. So I'm totally word blind sometimes. And hello, Brian. So there we go. So I think, yeah, for a test, this is all right. It's working, isn't it? So I think it's going to be an interesting stream for you guys because we don't know, what we're going to get. I mean, this evening I'm kind of performing. Sometimes you might be on this, come on the stream and I'll totally ignore everybody and I'll be deeply doing music. It doesn't always happen though. I'm wondering if you're using Fishman Fluence Modern on this guitar with a three-way switch. No, these are classics on a three-way with a push-pull. There you go. No, I think, right, this is one thing that I'm thinking about with the whole Twitch thing, is that it feels, looking at it, it feels a little bit more casual, right? So what it probably will happen is I'll do lots more impromptu things. So I've come in after a hard day's playing at work. I mean, my hands are absolutely sore, the battered days from playing. So I just thought, because it's a bit more informal and stuff, I can just flick on whenever I want, can't I? So I think I'll just probably, on an evening, come on here and do some stuff. It can't hurt, can it? Yeah, it probably sounds a little bit weird for moderns because I'm playing it. That's what it is. It's the fingers that are doing that. The morning streams are happening, yeah. So I'm going to be on Twitch tomorrow morning, 5:30, and I'll be on here. So, because we did this morning, we did the first of the kind of live looping splurges, didn't we? And that was I found that quite tricky, and it's made me rethink a few things. So I did a massive free write, Sean, after that stream, trying to work out how to, because what the problem is there's two parts of me that I'm trying to join together, and that is the hutch that does synths, right? Which has been synths has been the thing that I've wrote on for God knows how long, for years. and like really heavily since 2013, 2014, when I decided to like go heavily into dance music and start releasing absolutely shitloads of music. So it's all been all of my gains have been through doing electronic music and not really doing guitar. And then it hasn't been till sort of me and Thomas got together and did McRocklin and Hutch, and then next thing, next thing, I'm on stage with Thomas playing with Dragon Force for a laugh, doing that country and western song. And the next thing is I'm like suddenly got a guitar in my hand, and like now I'm like fully into guitar mode again. But it's where I'm from, isn't it? I mean, I used to be a shred monster when I was a kid, and that's what I did. And then I just kind of left it behind for years and did electronic music. And now I'm back into shredding and doing the electronic music. So it's a wonderful problem to have, and it'll be certainly a great one for people to see on the stream, me working through my musical problems. And I mean, don't get me wrong, like I'll mention problems a lot, right? But I love having problems, because when you solve a problem, right, you create new knowledge for yourself. And this is how we get good at things. And especially with production and electronic music, what I tend to find is people don't necessarily see that as an instrument. They don't see the DAW as an instrument, but it is. And we can practice it just the same. Just the process of practicing it can be a little bit more thinky. But all the same, we can practice it through doing a session, okay? And then basically the process I do is the wins, like I do wins, problems and opportunities. So after each session, I'll do the wins so I feel good about myself. I'll go, there's always a win no matter how badly something goes, right? So you do that. Once you got that sorted, you go into the problems, right? And then as long as you can identify problems, okay, you can start getting excited about it, because then you can brainstorm all kinds of crazy solutions to overcome those problems. And problems are soluble. And what you'll find is that you'll be exchanging really shit problems for really good problems. A really good problem could be like if you had £1 million, right? If you had like loads and loads of money, it would solve a lot of problems, but it would also create new problems. So no matter what we do in life, okay, we're always going to have problems till we're dead, right? And then we won't probably have any problems. But up to that point, we're always going to have problems to solve. And by working out how to solve those problems, that's how we practice. So that's the principle I take, and it's worked out absolutely amazingly for me doing electronic music. And also back into playing guitar, because like now, I've got to practice quite a bit. And I think working in DAW from third person perspective is not that spectacular as playing the guitar, but the results can be so much more better. I think both yield amazing results. Yeah. Thanks, Joey. So both are, and as I say, you got to think of your DAW as a, as an instrument. But actually, I mean, one of my problems is that thing where the results can be much better on a DAW. That could possibly be, Bart, potentially. And this is because this is from my experience now, and we're all subject to this, is it's a quality judgment, okay? But there are different types of quality, okay? So I think the quality of what I'm playing here in terms of ideas and expressing emotions is better quality than me kind of producing just an electronic piece of music that I've just rattled out. Because I remember, like, as a kid, like, listening to Shrapnel Records, shred, like, stuff, right, back in the day, and it was all, like it hurt my ears. But I wasn't bothered about the quality of the sound. I wasn't, I didn't hear, like, the, how, the fact that a lot of those recordings were really rushed and done in a day or something, or a week. All I was interested in was the wonderful guitar playing and the ideas. And for me, it's the ideas that yields the quality, not how big, fat, amazing something sounds, although that's nice. But it's always the quality of ideas first. And of course, one of the things that I show people is the machine. Okay, so the music machine. So if you haven't seen this, I'll show you it. So this is like my musical brain, in a way. And here it is. Here is the machine. So we've got some columns here, right? So ideas is just where I put like lunatic ideas, but actually I don't really use this. I tend to free write, and it tends to be in a journal, which I've got here. So I tend not to use that, and then all my crazy stuff's here. So that's the journal of like madness. And but what we have here is we'll have different columns. So splurge is what you see me doing a lot of at the minute, especially with the live looping, because I count that as a splurge really. But a splurge is what a splurge is. It's just a vomiting up of some sort of musical idea. When you do a splurge, right, you are completely not focused on quality in any way. All you're focused on is quantity and like going as fast as you possibly can initially. And all you're doing is you're just making music to have an opinion on later. Okay, now this is very important because when we're actually playing music and so when we're writing music, especially recorded music, it's very hard not to have an opinion. And this is one of the things that we have to practice out of ourselves, because usually those opinions are extremely unreliable. And one of the reasons that they're unreliable is because when you're lost in your thoughts with an opinion on a piece of music, you're listening to the thoughts and you're not necessarily listening to the music, which is why at the splurge stage, we're not worried about any future expectations. We're just wanting to get the kind of wild ideas down. It's like a musical version of free writing. You see, our brains make, I think I'm going to start on one of my lectures here. This sometimes happens as well. The thing is, it's like our brains, right? We're conscious of making decisions, but there's also a level where we're unconsciously making decisions for ourselves, and it's that unconscious level of decision making that we're trying to get to with our music making. So that's what the splurge is. I put the sketchbook here. The sketchbook is where everything goes that I'm not working on at the time. It's not a bin. It's not where I put failed projects. It's just where I put stuff because I hear it and I think, you know what, I'm not working on that now. I'll put it in the sketchbook. Some people will think, oh, it's a really bad idea, so I'm not going to work on it, put it on the sketchbook, right? But sometimes one thing we've got to remember is that with recorded music, something that's recorded is fixed, right? But as human beings, we aren't. And our thoughts, feelings, perceptions of what we're doing changes over time, okay? And because it changes over time, sometimes when we listen to that music, because it's not changing, it doesn't quite fit with what we are kind of focused on. So we can move it. And when you're running something like a machine like this, you're going to have an abundance of ideas anyway. So you're always working on the things that you want to work on that feel relevant to you. And then we move into discovery. So the discovery, what discovery is you listen to your splurges, usually after minimum 3 days, 7 days, right? And in discovery, we'll put our splurge in, and what we're trying to ask ourselves is, what does the music want to be? Not what do I want the music to be? It's what the music wants to be. We're serving the music. In other words, what we're trying to do is we are trying, well, we're not trying to. What we're doing is we're taking a discovery mindset to music, okay? So what we don't want to do is a design thing. A thing about design is you're making a one-off, almost perfecting an idea that's in your head. I hear this thing and I want to make that. Now, the problem with that is that anything that doesn't match up to that idea, even though it could be a better idea, we ignore, okay? And then usually, I mean, I've never ever thought of something musically, right, and it come out exactly the way that I've thought it, right? So what we want to be doing is we want to be flexible enough, because all these other ideas that come from a phase of insight. Okay, so we're discovering, so we chase these ideas, and instead of going in a direction of design, we're discovering what the music wants to be. It's almost like as if we're not making the music, because let's face it, where do ideas come from? An idea will come from doing something, and that's all we're doing. We hear the music, we respond to that with an idea. That idea generates another thought, and then we respond to that. So that's discovery. What does the music want to be? And then draft's just a draft. You see, draft, okay? When we look at a piece of music, the way that I look at it is you'll have like what is called the purpose. And the purpose is the story. And we're developing the purpose sort of, it can actually happen at any stage really in the splurge or discovery. In discovery, you may not have a structure, but you may have a series of parts that could be possible purposes that make up a story, okay? And when I'm talking about a story, it can be the classic version of a story where you've got a situation, you've got conflict, and then you've got a resolution. This can be mirrored in our music as well. So what we're trying to do in draft is actually put all these purposes together in an arc. In other words, the beginning, middle, and end. And that's what we're doing in draft. Again, we're not focusing on any quality. We're just putting these things together. So, and another way overarching all of this process is this thinking of in divergent and convergent thinking, okay? So, in other words, when we're divergently thinking, all channels of communication are open, all right? When we are convergently thinking, this is like an end, almost finishing phase. So that's more to do with mixing. So sometimes like people will, knock together like an 8-bar loop. It's very easy to do in Ableton Live. You've got the that session view that I was on before, just doing the jam. And what you can do is you can get tempted to start perfecting and mixing an 8-bar loop when you haven't finished a song, and then you make something that sounds really good, and then it becomes really difficult to work on because the quality judgment's there. You've got that feeling of it being finished when it hasn't even been started, and that's when you get that tight feeling like, oh, this is really good now, and I don't want to destroy it by doing something crazy. Well, throughout this kind of writing, the way that I approach this is we're carefree. We want to be making big moves, and we don't want to be scared of making any drastic changes as well. We just want to do it because we can sort it all out later. Everything's like logged. The machine's going to completely cover us. So that's draft, and then we get to done, and done's just there's a process going from draft into done, which is almost like a kind of creative mixing thing, but it's designed, and I'll not give the game away, it's designed to be able to let you find out if you've got enough parts, okay, for the song, and enough parts to actually make or at least not parts, enough information to be able to make the release decision. All right. So this doesn't mean mixing the song. Okay. This just means, all the sections are together, all the contrast is there. You might not even need fills and stuff to make, the release decision. You've just got to have enough information there, okay, to be able to make a decision on whether you're going to release it or not. Now, the beauty of doing this way is you're not going to end up spending hours and hours mixing something that you're not going to release. Okay, so we save a huge amount of time, and it kind of protects us from that. So we can put stuff, if it comes to the end of the process and you think, it's not quite what I want to be doing at the minute, you can put it in the sketchbook, come back to it later, move other things on into release, and then release really, once you've made that decision, that is like, you're gonna do what needs to be done to get that track to whatever standard to release it, and that's how it goes. And then you can see that I've got like lots of kind of releases in here, and then I've got a couple of releases there that I've done, and then I've got sort of my kind of solo stuff here, and then I've got lots of other stuff which is like everything else is like pretty much here. I think this is all like McLaughlin and Hutch kind of possible stuff. So that's sort of like what that machine is. And when you're on the when you're watching me on the stream in the mornings, because like the purpose of the morning, right, is for me to be able to do my music creative practice, because it's like super important to me. I have to do that. I have to be making something every day. It's an exercise. Whether I release it or not, it doesn't matter. But it's about keeping my brain in that creative process all the time. It's about staying in the game. And I do it in the morning because it's when there's the least amount of like stuff going on. So it's easier to focus, you know. And of course, when I've done that thing for me, it makes me feel good. And like the rest of the day isn't a problem. So there'll be times where I come on here and we're doing electronic music and I just start making a beat and off we go. And there'll be times where you'll be able to watch that beat go through the machine, or different beats, which can be sometimes really interesting. Sometimes I'll cycle in one of those columns. So like that discovery, I'll do one idea after the other and there'll be short sessions. So I'll do like 10-15 minute sessions on each thing. And I'll flick from literally, I'll go through 2-3 projects in an hour and a half stream. Sometimes like now, I'm doing the live looping. So that's the thing as well, to generate ideas. As I was saying before, my problem is how am I going to, you know, mash together the writing processes of guitar and electronic music in a kind of consistent way. I mean, I can do it, but I want to explore, you know, like I really want to dig in and understand what that process means. And of course, as I'm doing this and you're watching me, you're going to learn that as well. So that's a pretty cool thing. So it's all about doing, it's all about, you know, watching me do things. It's not all performance. Having said that, have I checked? Well, that's a good one. No, because have I ever checked what the ratio of discoveries from splurges in a particular period of time? No, not really, but it's low. Like a ton of stuff. I mean, a massive amount of splurges goes into the sketchbook. A huge amount. It could be, you know, I could have 10 go into that sketchbook. But what it means is I'm always working on the best ideas or the ideas that interest me. But like having a ratio like that wouldn't bother me. And then the rest of the columns really, I mean, my splurge should be empty, to be honest. But when you're in process, like the release and done, that's fine. You can build up tracks in that. But the in process section, splurge, discovery, draft, then to some degree done, well, not really into done really, because done's just you holding stuff. But splurge, discovery and draft, right? What you want is you don't want too many tracks in there. So what I've got in here is actually kind of based on how much time I have. There is like there is a formula that you can work it out. Because if you have too much stuff going on in the discovery and draft, you end up with a bottleneck and it can cause problems. Oh, well, me and Thomas, like, we talk about music all the time and workflow and things like that, and we're always sharing stuff. And we meet somewhere along the way. We just meet wherever our interests are, which is just a wonderful way. I mean, it's in terms of writing and like how we do things. I mean, it's not like a rigid thing. It can be, you know, we just flow. And a lot of the time, like with this whole machine thing, you know, like when I'm just producing, you know, and if you didn't know who I was, and you saw me producing, this is kind of what's going on in my head. You know, I don't like, I'm not getting it out every time and explaining it to everybody. But I think it's a very interesting thing for you guys to see. And obviously something that I coach on. So anybody who's interested in coaching, or being coached, or coming into one of the coaching groups, you can send me an email. I should put it in here. It's Tim. Tim Coach .uk. So if you're interested in coaching, there you go. And it's there. It's also in the description on the YouTube channel. I'll have to get that sorted on here. I really don't know what I'm doing on Twitch. But I hope you guys are preferring this. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it seems you've got emojis and things, and it looks a little bit different. So that's cool. But yeah, so, and then the other thing is, like, anybody who's on here who hasn't subscribed to the Twitch channel, please subscribe. Right, George, I've got half-written songs. Can't seal them up. Well, the coaching thing would be definitely for you, because I'd sort all of that out. But what I would say, George, is where in the process do you stop? What makes you half write something? But 2 to 3 months, I can turn somebody into an absolute focus ninja. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So getting bits of parts. So that's sounding like what I would call loopitis. So something like this kind of process would really kind of massively help you out. But that's, yeah, I mean, because there's a number of things. I mean, I would have to ask more questions in exactly what's going on in this process to be able to fully help you. But feel free to send me an email. Right. Oh, well, that's great being a singer. I mean, I can sing a bit. But, you know, I should sing more. I've thought about singing and doing like songs on the stream. I mean, it could happen, right? Because I've been messing about with AI at the minute. So it all kind of... so there's that what's it, ChatGPT, what it is? I've been messing about with that today, getting it to write songs for me. So that's really interesting. Because it's always the lyrics I struggle with. So anyway, guys, so the next stream will be tomorrow morning. Tuesday, tomorrow morning, I'll be live. Wednesday, I'm not live because I've got a coaching group in the morning. But then I'm back on Thursday and Friday mornings, all at 5:30 in the morning. But also, I think the odd bits of free time, I might just pop on here and do some stuff. And, chat, talk about creativity, probably play songs and entertain people as it's the evening. But be warned, the mornings that can be a bit wacky, and then I can be a bit serious. I'll be in the mountains while you are on tomorrow. Well, I think that's great. Sad face. No, it'll be very good, being up the mountains. I tried to do a live stream from the Glen Gorms when my daughter was skiing. That was fun. I had a picture of the mountain and the ski slope. It looked great whilst I tried to make music. But then just like the computer crashed. Well, that would be great. The sub would be brilliant. Imagine that. I could like getting paid for doing this. That'd be great. But yes, and I've even invested in an extra red light for the hyperdrive, so it's got more red behind it. So that's like the kind of detail that goes on this stream. And then I got this as well. I meant to be using this actually to punch in the recording when I'm doing the looping, because I haven't yet managed to work out how I'm going to get the Live Logic to do what I want it to do. So there we go. All right, guys. So that's me done. I need to go eat because I'm tired and I need to sleep, so I'm not too crazy in the morning for when I do all of this again. All right. Sleep tight, everybody. Never mind, Max. Morning. Get up in the morning. That's if you're in the UK. All right. See you guys. Bye.